What's up, it's you? For today's video, we're in full Pokemon Alphabet Letter V team. Now, I've still got my cold, as you can probably tell by my narration, and we're going to be soldering on with the video, so just bear with me as I get through this. Probably next week, I reckon I should be nearly through this. So, today's video is going to be about Pokemon that start with the letter V. I randomly picked out 6 Pokemon that started with the letter V and put them on team. If you do want to check me out on Twitch, people, this is where I do all my live streams and stuff like that. The link is in the description of the video, and let's get into these battles. Today, I've got 2 battles, and the first battle was against Jade. So, if you did skip my little intro bit there, I do still have a cold, so that is why my voice is a bit funky at the moment. Now, the first Pokemon we got here is a Crobat, and I've got Vikavolt. So, Vikavolt's got a really cool shiny, so I thought I'd make use of it as a physical set. So, I've got Wild Charge, X Scissor, Guillotine, and Dig. I've got a Choice Banded set with Max Health and Max Attack out of Nature. We got an Astonished Crobat, which is pretty astonishing, and unfortunately, it is going to get one-shotted by my Wild Charge. I think right here, we might have a Batman team. So I'm going to take a little bit of recall from that Wild Charge against the astonishing Crobat. And the next Pokemon to come in is Heatmor. Not Heatran. Man, getting my Heatmor and Heatran mixed up. That's actually a really good pick for Bane because of its mask. And Heatran's mask looks exactly the same. That's a really good pick. So we're going to have the Heatran go for a Taunt here. I'm assuming they probably thought I might have had Sticky Web on this set, so that was, I guess, a decent play there. We got some Rocky Helmet, and we got some recall damage there from Wild Charge. Now, since I'm locked into Wild Charge here, all I can really do is go for Wild Charge again, while the Heatmor sets up the Stealth Rock. So it's got Taunt, and it's got Stealth Rock. So I'm kind of curious if it's got, like, even a Fire-type move. Maybe it's only got a Steel-type move. We're going to definitely be finding out who's here soon, right? So we're going to take some Wild Charge damage there and some Rocky Helmet damage. This is going to be my last resort here with my Wild Charge. But we got a Body Press Heatran. Heatran fails to take me out with the Body Press. And we're both going to take each other out there with a Wild Charge and the recall on my Wild Charge and the Rocky Helmet. So a double KO there. So obviously Heatran was just pretty much a setup set. That was like Taunt, Stealth Rock, Body Press. Maybe another setting up move, or I'd say a Steel type move. Next Pokemon here, which is a pretty interesting set, we got is the Vibrava. And Vibrava again, like yesterday's theme team actually had Vibrava. This is pretty similar to the other one. We got Draco Meter, Earth Power, Heat Wave, and Air Cutter. This is going to be a Choice Spec set. Now we got the Blazion going for a trick here, outspeeding me obviously. I got a Salad Mix, and they got a Choice Spec. So I went for a Salad Mix, Earth Power, only I'll pick my shell there, and Joker almost goes down in one shot. Now this Blazion set, I was wondering why they got rid of my item, but then they got a Choice Spec, so it's a really good item for it. They went for a trick, Salad Mix, Last Resort, and took my Vibrava out. You wouldn't read about it. Very, very nice. And now it's going to be getting a attack rise. So Last Resort's going to be hitting very, very powerful, right? Next Pokemon to come in here is my Vulpix. I'm going to take some Stealth Rock damage, and we're going to put that Drought right up on there in the field. Now, we got the Blazion. It's obviously going to go for another Last Resort here, or I can go for a Hex and take it out. However, we got the Blazion swapping out, and the next Pokemon here is going to be Morpeko. Now, Morpeko, that's actually a pretty good pick for Two-Face, well, because I sort of got the Two-Face there, and with its form changing, right? So I went for Hex. Obviously, it's not going to affect that at all, and it had an eject button, so I don't really know what's going. Like, some of these are some pretty crazy sets there, I've got to say. And the Pokemon to swap in now is going to be Aurorus, which is Mr. Freeze. Now, I've got Energy Ball that by no means is going to take out Aurorus at all, but it's my most powerful attack here. This is a max speed and max special attack Vulpix with Timid Nature. Now we got a weakness policy Aurorus. I'm like, uh-oh, this is very, very bad. Then things got even worse when the Aurorus went for a Rock Polish. So that's going to boost its speed by 2 stages. And it's going to have the effects of the weakness policy too. So I'm in a bit of trouble here. It's going to probably be hitting fairly hard. I went for Fire Blast here for a little bit, maybe a burn or something like that. And they went for just an ice. I think it was a Frost Breath there. And that doesn't take me out. So maybe they've only got an ice type move as their attacking move. Now, Fire Blast does not take the Aurorus out, obviously, but it still does some pretty good damage there, right? So here comes the Freeze Dry, and my Vulpix is going to be going down there. So bye-bye, Vulpix. Now, I need to swap in a Pokemon that can live a weakness policy boosted Freeze Dry from an Aurorus. The only Pokemon to come to mind here is Vanillish. Now, I believe this is the first time I've ever used Vanillish in a theme team, ever. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure I am. This is a Sheer Cold, Hail, Automized Explosion set with Everlight. This is all based around getting the Hail up and getting that evasion going. Now we've got a Freeze Dry coming from the Aurorus here. I thought it'd be about maybe a 3-hit KO after Stealth Rock, and it looked to be around that damage. So my really only move here was to go for Explosion. I was hoping this was going to be enough to take the Aurorus out on such a low amount of health. And I'd say it probably was just enough damage there. So bye-bye Aurorus. That was getting a little bit scary there. Now I've got 2 more Pokemon left, and we've still got 3 more to deal with. Now the next Pokemon I thought to bring in here for the letter V team could possibly be my legendary Pokemon, right? And that is going to be a Volcanion. So Volcanion's going to be a physical set, yeah? And we're facing that Blastoise. So I've got on this set Explosion, Flare Blitz, Liquidation, and Body Press. And I've got the normal gem as the item there just to boost the power of Explosion. Now, the best bet here would go for the Liquidation, considering it's super effective. I know that Blastoise only has Trick and Last Resort, right? So go for that Liquidation, and Blastoise's going to go down there on such a low amount of health, right? I've used Volcanion quite a few times on my teams there, so yeah, I think this is definitely the very, very first time for Vanillish. Next Pokemon, and the last Pokemon team is the Riddler being Gengar. That's actually quite a good pick. I can go for Liquidation again. I could go for Flare, but it's for some more damage, but I will take Recall there too. That's the only bad thing. Both of these moves are going to do like a lot of damage to Gengar. It's not exactly what you call the most bulkiest Pokemon in the world. Then the Gengar is going to go for Explosion. So we got a couple of explosions happening here. So the Explosion is going to be doing a lot of damage because the Gengar, I'm guessing, is running max attack there with the normal gem. And Gengar almost takes him out. It was very, very close. I was running max health there. So that was the only reason that I actually managed to live that. Next Pokemon is the Morpeko. I was like, you know what? We've had 1, 2 explosions so far. Why not make it a 3rd explosion? So go for the explosion on the Thunder Shocking Morpeko there. Unfortunately, I got Disrespect KO'd there. I didn't actually able to outspeed the Morpeko. Sadly, we would have had 3 explosions. Now, Morpeko is going to be changing into a Tangri mode, and I'm going to go into Venipede here. I think this is the first time I could have used Venipede on a team too here. I don't remember actually using it. I haven't done a Venipede evolution team ever, so I'm pretty sure Venipede and Vanillish is their first debut ever in a theme team. So this is a Rock Smash, Speed Boost, Sweeping Venipede. Now, for me to be able to outspeed a Morpeko, I'm going to need at least +1 in speed. I'm running a Adamant Nature, max attack and max speed Venipede here. Now, it's not very fast either. It's not really that fast at all. Now, the item I got in this one is Everlight. It's not going to be too handy in this matchup here. But I do have that Max Guard, which I can go for that and get that free speed boost up. And I might be able to outspeed the Morpeko there, right? I'll definitely be able to the turn afterwards, right? And I should be able to leave Morpeko's electric attack badly as it is, I believe, anyway. I'm not sure about Venipede Shine. It sort of looks like a little bit of a dull-looking color. And I think I actually might like, out of that line with Venipede, Whirlipede, and Scolipede, if you haven't seen them shiny, you should have a look at Whirlipede Shine. It looks really, really good. Like, I reckon it's definitely the best one there. So go for that Max Guard, getting that speed boost there on my Venipede. And this is going to obviously change the form of the Morpeko as well. So it's back to its normal mode there. So I've got Max Knuckle and I've got Max Flutterby. Both of these moves are going to do a lot of damage. I believe Max Knuckle coming off Rock Smash will not take it out. So it might be a better way to go for the Max Flutterby. Plus, I can also drop the special attack of the Morpeko at the same time. So go for my Max Flutterby there. And Morpeko is going to get dropped by that. And that, my friends, is the very first battle. And, man, Venipede actually come in handy there. I could actually probably get a sweep with that if I got enough. I don't know, if I got enough Rock Smash or Max Knuckles up, that is possible. I mean, the coverage is a little bit average, but I feel it is possible. So one day I might get a Venipede sweep. It's a far cry from being as good as a Scolipede, even a Whirlipede, but there is a decent chance. All right, my next opponent here, this was against Jestboron, and this is a EV lead. Once again, if you weren't listening at the start there, I have got a cold and my narration is a little bit croaky. So I hope you can put up with my croakiness for a couple of days there. Hopefully next week it's going to be healed. Okay, so I've got an EV as a lead here. I thought, let's go a Venipede. I actually want to try and get a Venipede sweep here. That was sort of my goal. I was looking in the team preview, and I was pretty happy with what I was looking at, right? With Rock Smash, Bug Bite, and Poison Tail, I had some good coverage. First things first, let's go for Protect there. You've got to use protection sometimes, people, and get your speed boost up. Now, EV's going to go for an Iron Tail there, so that probably wouldn't have done a lot of damage to me regardless, but I mean, no damage is better than none, right? Now I'm thinking here, right, I could go for a Rock Smash, but let's just go for Dynamax and then go for Max Knuckle. Take the EV out in one shot, hopefully, if it's not Everlighted, and we should be good to rock and roll. Maybe for a little a sweep with the Venipede. That was the plan anyway. Whether it was going to come to fruition was going to be another thing, right? So Dynamaxing my Venipede there for the second time. Like, this is interesting. I Dynamax this Pokemon quite a bit there. Even though its sweeping capacity isn't the greatest, you need like a couple of boosts up there too. All right, so go for the Max Knuckle here on the EV. I was confident this would take it out if it didn't have an Everlight. And it definitely did have an Everlight, as you can see from the damage there. But the next Max Knuckle will be able to take it out. Now we got the EV going for a Copycat there, and they're going to go for a Rock Smash. And obviously that doesn't do any damage, but it drops my defense, which is actually pretty good there. So getting a speed boost on my Venipede, so I've got +2 in speed now. Now, EV's going to be pretty easy pickings here just to take out, and that'll give me a +2 in attack, right? I'm hoping that I don't sneeze either, because like I feel I've got a sneeze coming on, so I may have to pause my commentary. Hopefully not though. So I thought about this for a little bit. Maybe I should go for a Max Flutterby just in case, and I decided to go for yet another Max Knuckle. And my opponent is going to take that opportunity to go for a Dynamax themselves. I mean a G-Max EV. Now, since this EV is going to get some extra bulk, I mean, I do have a +1 attack, but I believe it's going to be very, very close whether I can take this out or not. And remember, too, they actually netted a -1 on my defense before, and I'm going to assume they're running a physical set, too. So go for Max Knuckle, and unfortunately, EV is going to be able to live that one. So that is going to really cut my Venipede sweep dry there, because EV is obviously going to be attacking me with a normal type move there, and Venipede is going to be dropped. That was so unfortunate. I think I might have lived that G-Max cuddle there if I didn't have the -1 in defense. But then again, I still would have had to deal with the effect of the move. Next Pokemon is the Vulpix. We're going to swap that in and just take out this EV here, right? I've got Timid Nature. This will be enough to outspeed EV. EV doesn't have a lot of health left either, so I can easily just go for Fire Blast and take it out there too. That'd be my best play. So go for Fire Blast, and EV is going to go down. I was a little bit worried that it might miss, but I didn't want to risk going for like Energy Ball. I couldn't go for Hex, and Hypnosis was kind of out of the question. So I just had to take the risk there with the Fire Blast. Next Pokemon is a Chansey. Now, this was an interesting Chansey set, I've got to say. And something really, really cool here happened. So make sure you keep watching. Very, very interesting. So swapping out my Vulpix, no way I can even touch a Chansey at all. Like, way, way too bulky. I'm going to bring in my Volcanion here. And Chansey is going to go for Minimize, right? So that's annoying. It's going to be having all those evasion boosts. So I've got Explosion, Flare Blitz, and Liquidation. I want to go for Explosion. I feel like, Flare Blitz or Body Press will do a lot. But Flare Blitz will rinse a lot of my health. So like, let's go for Body Press and let's see how much it does. It does pretty good amount of damage here. It's a solid 3-hit KO. Now the Chansey is going to go for a Sweet Kiss there. Imagine kissing a Volcanion. Just imagine, people. Anyway, so I've got that confusion on my Volcanion, which isn't too fun. I can go for another Body Slam here, or I can just go for a Flare Blitz. Flare Blitz in the sun will do some pretty good damage too, so I feel like that should, almost be enough to take out the Chansey. They'll get it in like a low amount of health, right? So go for the Flare Blitz, and Flare Blitz is going to miss due to the Minimize. Now Chansey is going to use this opportunity to go for yet another Minimize. So we've seen Minimize, and we've seen I got to assume that it's got something like Softball there. So snap out of Confusion, go for Flare Blitz. It's going to miss again. And so I'd say it's got Copycat, Sweet Kiss. We've seen those moves already. And I'd say it's got one more healing move there. So it's going to go for the Copycat and copy my Flare Blitz. It's going to do no damage. I was starting to think here, if I couldn't land an attack on it, maybe I should try a different, like, strategy against this thing, right? I mean, if I connect the Flare Blitz on it, sure, it'll do a lot of damage, but I'd say before, like, it's definitely got Softboard or a healing move, right? And it'll just keep rinsing my health over and over. So Chance is going to keep going for Flare Blitz there, Hacker Expose, and then it sort of dawned on me, right? What if I go for Explosion? Now, even if Explosion misses, which, you know, if it does, it does, Chansey will have to go for Copycat. So the Explosion misses there on my Volcano, right? However, if you use Copycat, right, the Copycat will still occur, and Chansey is going to go Explosion, and it's going to blow itself up. So that was enough. There's more than one way to skin a cat, people. So there you go. Chansey's going to go down. So you probably have never seen that happen before, or very, very rarely. So a double Explosion there. So that was really, really cool. That actually happened. And I mean, to have an Explosion miss too, and then the opponent take themselves out with Explosions, quite interesting. So the next Pokemon here we got is the Bouffalant. I've got my Drought and Fire Blast as my most strongest attack here, but man, Bouffalant's very, very bulky, so I believe this will be about a 3 to 4 hit KO, right? It actually does a surprising amount of damage, so I definitely think this is more of a sweeping set. Zen Headbutt is going to demolish me, taking me down to only 3 health. It's very, very close here. I believe I can take it out almost with another Fire Blast here. So I went for the Fire Blast, and this can take me out with any move that it does, right? Whatever move. Maybe they'll go for like 100% actually move here. So Bouffalant's going to go for a Lash Out now, and Vulpix is going to be going down there. But at least I got Bouffalant down on like a really low amount of health there, so that was quite good. Now, I've got 3 more Pokemon left here, and I thought, let's go into Vikavolt here. I know that I can tank pretty much whatever move this throws me, unless they've got Head Charge on there. That might be a problem if I've got Head Charge, right? I can go for Wild Charge, X-Scissor, any move there. Decide to go for the Wild Charge, and yes, it does have Head Charge. So this move is very, very powerful. I've got max health and max attack there. That's the only reason I managed to live there, right? Or I could have gone for a Dig there, anticipating that, but I was like, nah, just in case it doesn't go to recall, I'll just go ahead and do that, right? Next Pokemon is the Blissey. So we got a Chansey and we've got a Blissey. So like, okay, well, Wild Charge will do some good damage to this. I mean, it's not going to take it out. I'd love to go for a Guillotine, but I'm Choice Bandit, so let's just go for Wild Charge here and see what happens. Now, Blissey's going to outspeed me and go for a Metro. I'm like, what is this? And it's going to have a Sacred Sword there. So we've seen a Chansey, a very interesting Chansey and a Blissey set so far. I'm going to assume Blissey probably has a healing move here, and Wild Charge just destroys it in one shot there. That had no defense EVs whatsoever. The only bad thing about that, Vikavolt did rinse the rest of its health, and it is going to faint. There's been a couple of double faints these battles. Next Pokemon we got is the Greedent here, right? And I'm going to swap in my Vanillish. Now, I get to show this set off this time, which is really cool. This is my Hail set with Sheer Cold. So what I want to do first is get the Hail up, right? And that'll give me a chance for moves to miss, and then I can start going for Sheer Cold, right? And it's fairly bulky because it does have Everlight too. Now, Greedent can be a very bulky Pokemon if it's got like Stuffed Cheeks or any sort of berry. It can be very annoying, right? So I want to make sure I can land a Sheer Cold on this. Now, the EV spread on this Vanillish, I've got this one at as max health and split defenses with Everlight. I mean, you could EV it anyway right there. The thing about it, it does take a lot of damage and it's weak to a lot of things, but it's still fun to use, right? I think it's a very interesting evolution line. So it's going to have a Stuffed Berry with the Greedent there, and it's going to be getting like a big defense boost there, +2. The boost in defense don't really matter because I've got Sheer Cold there. The other move I've got in there is Autotomize too, so I can use that and outspeed the opponent and start spamming like Sheer Cold. That's the idea anyway. So here comes the Body Press there. Almost takes me out in one shot. That does a huge amount of damage because it crits me. So I lived a crit Body Press from a Stuffed Cheeks Greedent, which is pretty impressive when you think about it, right? I need to land a Sheer Cold or dodge the next attack. It's my only hope to take this thing down, right? So going for the Sheer Cold there, hoping for the best. Either I land or they miss, right? Sheer Cold is going to land on the Greedent, and it's going to be going down there. So that was really, really good there. Vanillish set working beautifully. So I've got one more Pokemon left here to deal with. And I'm thinking, well, I might be able to get another Sheer Cold off here. That'll be amazing for I nearly call it Frillish then, for Vanillish to actually close out this battle. Now, Ordino is quite bulky, so I've got nothing here that I can really touch with. Explosion's not going to do a lot. It might just be best to roll the dice and go for a Sheer Cold here. Judging on what is left there. I mean, I've got my Vibrava, which is the last Pokemon. I do have Draco Meteor, but it's going to take like maybe 2 or 3 of them to take it out. So I need some form of damage here or just go for gold. I decided in the end to go for the gold there with a sheer cold, and it missed. And now we got the Ordena going for a hyper voice there. Hyper voice is going to take my vanilla shout too. This seems to be an offensive Ordena, which is unfortunate because when you got a Vibrava, it doesn't really survive a lot of attacks. So Vibrava is my last hope here. I've got Draco Meteor, I've got Air Cutter. So I thought, well, I could go for Air Cutter and try and go for a, maybe a crit there. A couple of crits to take it out. I reckon about 2 to 3 hit KO there. Depending on what my opponent's EVs are there, of course. I'd say they're probably running an offensive set here. Hopefully, because that will mean it's like not as bulky as what the other, what like a typical Ordena would be, right? Or I could go for Draco Meteor and just hope I get a lot of damage on the first one and get a crit on the second one, right? In the end, I decided to go for the Air Cut here on the Ordena and does very, very minimal damage. And now Ordena is going to go for a Calm Mind. Now, that actually isn't all that bad, because if I can manage to get a crit with Air Cutter, I'll bypass that. So I would have got a free amount of damage on that first one. Now, the Hail, unfortunately, is going to stop there, so no extra damage on the Ordeno. And I just got to lock in the Air Cutter here with the choice specs. Yeah. So now we're going to go for Air Cutter. Fingers crossed that I can get a crit on this set. Unfortunately, it does not happen. And Vibrava is going to get destroyed in one shot by the Hyper Voice. Thank you for watching the Alphabet Letter V team. And the next team is going to be W. Peace out.